Hey metalheads, this is Doro Pesch and you're listening to that Metal Interview Podcast. Enjoy, I wish you a great time. Keep on rocking and stay metal.
There's beauty in the heart of the beast, fear behind the eyes of the thief.
That Metal Interview.
Welcome back, guys and girls. Your friend James from the state of Texas in the US of A. That Metal Interview Podcast, the best and the fastest rising rock metal podcast on the third planet from the sun, maybe. So anyways, today we have a special guest. We have the queen of metal herself, Doro Pesch. The German front woman is here to promote her brand new album by the title of Conqueress, Forever Strong and Proud, dropping October 27th here very shortly via Nuclear Blast Records. And right now you guys heard All We Are, which was, and she'll talk about it, 1987. For those of you that were there and remember, if you weren't born yet, you should go back and check out Warlock, which is Doro's first band, and that's where you can find All We Are and a bunch of badass albums, of course. And anyways, right now we're gonna play one of her new jams, one of her new songs from the new album Conqueress, Forever Strong and Proud. This is Time for Justice. We'll be right back.
See a future full of lies, and everyone will pay the price tomorrow.
Time for Justice, indeed. A brand new track from Doro's brand new album, Conqueress, Forever Strong and Proud. Nuclear Blast Records presents. Dropping October 27th. If you are listening to this after that date, that means you have access to this album and all these jams. That was a jam called Time for Justice. As I was talking earlier, the intro to the episode is a song called All We Are, which is a very anthemic, should I say, a badass anthem, a rock metal anthem that is from Doro's first band, Warlock. And she'll talk about what happened to the name Warlock and why she couldn't use it for 20 years. And now she has access to it, so check it out. She's going to reveal all that information in detail. And of course, she's going to talk about her brand new album. So here is our interview with the Queen of Metal, Doro Pesch. Enjoy. Where are you? What part of the planet are you at?
I just came back from Atlanta, and I'm in Germany, and flew from Atlanta to Florida. We played a great festival, the Prog Power Festival in Atlanta. That was so awesome, and now I'm back in Germany, and I'm coming back to the States soon. But we have here a couple of more festivals, and then we're all excited because the record is coming out on the 27th of October. That's the Conqueress Forever Strong and Proud album. And one day later, there's a big anniversary in my former hometown in Germany. That's Düsseldorf. And we are preparing a big show.
Well, lots to talk about. But we'll keep it short. Yes. I know you got other interviews and stuff, but we'll try to squeeze in whatever we can to promote.
Yes, absolutely.
So how was the festival in Atlanta?
Oh man, it was great. It was fantastic. We actually played a lot of Triumph and Agony stuff. Triumph and Agony was one of my favorite Warlock records, so we played many songs of that, and then some new songs. I don't know if you've seen our first single of this upcoming album is called Time for Justice. Time for Justice, yes. Awesome video. Yeah. And did you see the video yet? It's kind of a madness.
Awesome stuff. Yeah. Awesome.
Cool. We played that for the first time in America, and that was great. People were singing along right away. And then we played all our classics and hits and some specials. But it was awesome. It was a great festival. I played there now for the time.
Very cool. Yeah. Very cool. Very exciting. It's cool how you're excited after all these years. Yes. What drives you to after 40 years, you get up in the morning? What drives you to pick up a mic, pick up a phone, and call your agent, your manager, your musicians? What inspires you here, Doro? What's your inspiration in life here?
Yeah, that's easy to answer because it's the fans. The fans I love. And when I was about 24, I was living in Manhattan. One day I woke up and I thought, okay, today I wanna choose my priorities, and I thought I want to dedicate my life to metal and to the fans. And ever since, I'm really happy, and I never ever was missing anything. And I'm living for the fans, for the music and for the fans and everything what comes with it. And I love touring, I love festivals, and I love writing songs or being in the studio. And now it took about 3 years, this new album, and it was great because I thought, oh man, I have some more songs for the set list, and I cannot wait till the fans will hear the whole album, because I know there are definitely some, I would call some hits on it and some anthems, and I can't wait to play it live. So yeah, that's easy for me to get up. I usually work at night, all night, and then I wake up whenever I have to wake up, and then I do what I have to do. But it's all for the music. And if the fans wouldn't be there, I don't know if I could do it, because sometimes it is like every job. It is sometimes really hard, really tough, and there are always some problems you always have to solve. Problems every day, and then but I know when I see happy faces, especially in the first row, when I can really see them and and look in people's eyes, then I think, yeah man, it's all worth it. And when I have the feeling that it means something to people, then that's good. So I always try to have a great message or something, what really makes them feel awesome, and what's uplifting, empowering, and yeah.
Speaking of set lists, for example, the Atlanta one, how do you go about writing a set list with so many hits and so many anthems, like you said? I mean, you got to do a little bit of Warlock, of course, and of course you got awesome badass albums with your own solo stuff, Doro. How do you put together so many songs squeeze them into one set?
Yeah, actually, it is really difficult because I think we have now, 22 records, and man, it is hard. And sometimes, I ask the fans, and I always ask them, hey, what songs would you like to hear? And it is different from country to country because in Europe, there were records were released which they weren't released in the States. When grunge was so big, then there were 5 records not released just because they weren't grunge or sounding a little bit grunge. And I thought they were awesome records. So here in Europe, I play sometimes some different songs, and then in the States, I play songs which I think the fans want to hear, and I always change the set list every night, which my band, they're always going crazy. Oh no, she's changing again. But I always play according to the vibe, to the place, to the people. And when I have the feeling people want to hear more old school metal stuff, then I squeeze in more old school metal songs. Or when I feel they want to sing along, then I put more anthems in. Or sometimes towards the end, when one person calls out a song, for example, Love Me in Black, that is a very that's a cool song. It's kind of mystical, kind of a ballad, very soulful. And when we play Love Me in Black, then I can guarantee you people want to hear more of like the soulful, the ballads, and then usually I play them. And in Europe, I always play 2.5 hours, sometimes 3 hours. And in the States, because of the curfews, the set is a little bit shorter. It's usually 1 hour, 1.5. And then there's curfew, and I think, oh no, I just started. So I always play according to the fans. Yeah. And if there are more metalheads there, then it will be a more metal set. And if there are more a mixed crowd, then I play songs which everybody would like and stuff. Yeah. But there's always an All We Are is in the set. That's our answer, which that always makes people happy. So All We Are is always in the set, and lots of songs of the Triumph and Agony album, which I think that was our best Warlock album. And when you said before, Warlock and Doro, for me, it's one and the same. It's just we had a problem with the name for many, many years. Yes. But after 20 years, I got the rights to the name Warlock back.
Oh, you did? Okay. Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah. What happened there? I was going to ask you about that. I read a story that one of the ex-Warlock musicians took the name or something, and then so you got it back. That's cool. What happened there for people that don't know?
Yeah. Actually, it was our former manager. He died. He's not anymore alive. And he was our merchandiser as well. And I think back in the day, back in the 80s, we sold so many T-shirts and merchandising. And then one time he said, hey, you guys know we have to protect our name just in case that nobody else will call a band Warlock or whatever. And then he said, well, I go somewhere with all your passports. We gave him our passports, and then he was supposed to put it under our name, like the guys and me in the band. And then I was in America and doing the Triumph and Agony album, which became really, really successful. And we did a long tour in Europe with Ronnie James Dio. And then suddenly my American manager, he said, Doro, I have to talk to you. There's something really serious. And I thought, oh no, I hate when people say that. There's something really serious. I said, well, what can it be? The album is going well. Everything is so successful. We are on tour with my favorite singer, Ronnie James Dio. He said, well, your German manager, he left. And I said, he left? And yeah, he just split. And there was probably something going on. But when you're on tour and being a musician, you can't cancel the tour. And I thought, yeah, we will sort it out after the tour is over. So we did the tour with Ronnie James Dio in Europe, and then with Megadeth in America. Yeah, and then I was doing another album. There was the follow-up of Triumph and Agony. And we were in the studio. Everything was really going well. We thought, oh man, this will be a big album again. And, great vibes, great songs. And suddenly we got a letter from a lawyer and said, well, we cannot use the name Warlock anymore. And we thought, hey, it's our name. Of course we will use the name Warlock. It's my name. It's our name. So, and then we tried to do it, and we were hanging posters and, doing the album. But that didn't happen because, we got in so much trouble. And then, the people said, if we see one more time the poster with the name Warlock on, there's a lawsuit and you guys will, you have to pay whatever, $50,000, something like that. We said, oh no. So I thought, okay, what can we do? And I always wanted to do music for the rest of my life. And then the record company said, well, how about we call it Doro? Because they weren't interested in having another band name. They said, well, another band name, we just, build you guys up, and maybe it's, starting from scratch, so call it Doro. And then when it gets solved, next album, then Warlock again. But that took 20 years, and and my manager, the German guy, he left he went to Turkey, and back in the day there was no internet, no cell phones. You could not get a hold of him. There was never we could never solve it. And and the last thing I knew was there was a journalist calling me from Art Shock magazine. That was in the Netherlands, very famous magazine. And he said, Doro, I have news for you. Your manager got killed. And I thought, wow, really?
Wow.
He said, yes, he got poisoned. And I thought, wow. So it never really got solved with that guy, but I got the rights to the name back 20 years later. So,
wow.
Yeah, but when there was a little bit success, I saw it many times, a little tiny bit of success, then people go crazy, and then they see only the money or whatever they're thinking, so and he was a close friend. I was so sad about, the money. I didn't care, but the name I did care, and then we were friends before. So that was the story of that. I never wanted to do a solo career. I never planned on it, and
it just happened.
But it took a long time. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, but I wanted to do music. Of course, I wanted to.
That tells you that it's about the fans. The fans still followed you, even when you went with your own name, Doro, and you dropped the name Warlock. So that tells you that the fans are watching and they're following you, right? Not really the name, and they know who you are. Yeah. Right? You're the front woman.
Man, I'm so grateful. I tell you, I owe it all to the fans, and that's awesome. I'm
a fan.
And I wasn't sure if they would, Yeah.
I first heard of you on Headbangers Ball back in late 80s, I think. I saw the video for All We Are, and I was in school, and I became a fan, so I went out and bought the cassette, the Triumph and Agony and all that. So thank you for great music, Doro. Awesome stuff, and
I love when people say, yeah, man, I'm so excited about this album, or I saw the video on Headbangers Ball.
Yeah.
That was a great video. I thought, man, we filmed it in LA, in the LA River Basin where Terminator 2 was filmed. And every time when I'm in LA, when I see the LA River Basin, I think of that video, and I think of Arnold Schwarzenegger in Terminator 2. And I think it was super, super cool, and that was the first big video we did, and I think there were maybe 100 people running around. It was a big film set, and wow, and you could tell that the Triumph and Agony album, that it had so much magic, that it would go places, and I still love it. I still love it, as much as I loved it in 1987 when it came out. And we put out a Agony Live album. We played the first time the entire album live a few years ago, and it came out 1.5 years ago, and it's Triumph and Agony Live, and it's even more high energy, and
wow.
It sounds great. So
well, you got a great band. I just spoke to Bill Hudson 3 weeks ago, and of course he speaks very, very highly of you. Bill, he's just a great musician and a great person. And Johnny, I spoke to Johnny last year. You have a great band. It's just awesome. I'm glad you guys get along. Has ever been any fights out there?
Never. Never, never. Johnny is in the band since 1993, so he's
Yeah.
celebrating his 30th anniversary. And no, when we never had a problem, we never had a fight. There was never like screaming and yelling. When
Yeah.
there was, or when there is a problem, then we always solve it. And like in a
That's
normal way, and that's good. And everybody's happy, and I always try to keep everybody happy, which is sometimes not so easy because everybody, there's like different ideas maybe, but then in the end, and we're all good. And,
That's great.
yeah.
That's good to hear. Wow.
And Bill Hudson, his first gig was actually Prog Power. The last time we played in Atlanta, it was 2018, and that was his first gig with us. And then ever since, he's with us, and he's definitely a great guy, great guitar player. I love him, and a good spirit, and he always tries his hardest to do every show great. And I was so happy. We just celebrated my 40th anniversary in Wacken. We will do it a second time in Düsseldorf. That's my former hometown where everything started in Germany. We will do it on the 28th of October. And but we did it in Wacken a few weeks ago, and everybody was there. So many great guests, and Mickey D of Motorhead and Phil Campbell of Motorhead, and then of course my band, Johnny D and Bill Hudson and Chris Caffrey. And we did a great show. It was so awesome.
Wow.
In the end, we did Ace of Spades because the promoter of Wacken, 2 days before the gig, he said, "Hey Doro, can you guys rehearse Ace of Spades? We have a surprise." And we said, okay, yeah, why not? So we did Ace of Spades and dedicated it to Lemmy. And then there was a big drone show in the sky, and it was so awesome. You could see Lemmy's face. He had his hat on, had a cigarette in his mouth, and the cigarette was burning. You could see smoke, and I don't know how these drones did it. It was state of the art. It was so great. So It was really spectacular, and we are just thinking of another spectacular show in Düsseldorf. And so,
wow, I wish I could have been there. I'm just too far away from Germany. I'm in Texas. One day I'll make it to Wacken.
Yes, actually, we will play in Texas next year in White Oak, the festival.
Okay. I'll be there for sure.
Yeah.
I'll go check you guys out. Yeah.
Yes, check it out. It's in March, and check it out. It's we will play there, and we will definitely do some great old school Warlock songs as well. And
So let's speak of your new album coming out October 27th, Nuclear Blast. Conqueress, Forever Strong and Proud. Are you excited for this new album?
Oh, totally excited. It has 20 songs on it. I think they're all killer tracks. And one of my favorites, we are just filming a video for it, is Children of the Dawn. That's the opening track. And we are doing it with the same people where we have done the Time for Justice video, kind of like Mad Max style. And there's some other singles coming out, and we did like a lyric video with Rob Halford, that's Living After Midnight, and there's another video in the making with Rob Halford, that's Total Eclipse of the Heart.
Wow.
Because we met last year in France at Hellfest, another really great festival. It's like the size of Wacken, like 80,000 people, and we were hanging out backstage and talking a little bit. And Judas Priest was my very first tour I've ever done in 1986. My first big tour before we did some little club shows. But my first big tour in 1986, and it opened so many doors for us. So we always a great friendship going. And then we met last year at Hellfest. We were talking, and then I said, "Yeah, Rob, I'm just finishing my album, and I'm having 40-year anniversary next year." He said, "Wow, that's great." And then we said, "Hey, shall we do something together?" And I said, "Rob, I would like to do Living After Midnight, because that was one of my favorite Priest songs.
Wow.
And I love the British steel. I was born and raised with the new wave of British heavy metal." He said, "Okay, let's do it. And I couldn't believe when he said, "Yes, let's do it." And then he said, "You know what? I have a wish. There's one song I always wanted to do with you." And I said, "Really? With me? Are you sure?" He said, "Yes, Total Eclipse of the Heart." And I thought, wow, that's a Jim Steinman production. Wow, that's awesome. And we did it, and it's a duet, and this will actually come out the day when the whole album is released. That will be the focus track on the 27th of October.
Wow.
And we're just in the middle of doing this video, and Rob already filmed his parts, and he looks awesome, and I can't believe
It's exciting.
it. So,
Wow.
yeah, to me the album, that means so much, especially with like the 2 duets with Rob Halford. This
Wow.
is so awesome. And we have another duet with a German singer. He's from a very famous German band. I don't know if you guys know of the band. The name is Broilers, and his name is Sammy Amara. And the single just came out last week. It's called Bond Unending. It's a song about deep friendship.
Badass. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I heard it. It's awesome. Yeah.
Cool. But yeah,
There's a lot of
more songs are coming out as videos and as singles before the album release. So yeah,
That's so exciting, Doro. That's very cool. 19 tracks. Which is your favorite track?
Yeah, actually, it's 20 tracks with like Total Eclipse of the Heart.
Okay.
That actually got done. We finished it just a couple of weeks ago. That was the very last song we mixed, and then we had to master it again because I delivered the master already to the record company, and then we did Total Eclipse of the Heart, and so that was like, it was last minute, and I'm so happy that it made this album. So yeah, my favorite tracks is The Turner of the Dawn, Total Eclipse of the Heart, I Will Prevail. That's probably the hardest song I've done for the last 20 years. Fire in the Sky, Time for Justice, and I love that video for Time for Justice. I think it came
That's
out
a badass
so
song,
awesome.
Time for Justice. Yeah.
And there's one song that's dedicated to the animals, that's called Heavenly Creatures, because I love animals, and that's the only thing I miss in always touring. You can't have pets. I can't have dogs and horses, and I grew up with dogs and horses, so that's a little that's what I miss. But I'm always connected with people who are saving animals and who rescue animals.
That's cool.
And that makes me feel so good. And I just adopted 2 horses, and actually in a different country, in Austria. And
cool.
so yeah.
So you're an animal fanatic. So you have any cats? How many dogs do you have?
I grew up with dogs and horses, but I don't have any pets, because when you're always on tour, always on the road, it's impossible. And I have the green card. I'm a proud green card holder, and I live in the States. And then I always visit my mom. She's in Germany, and then we tour all over the world. So so
you're too busy.
Pets is impossible. Yeah. But
a quick question before we let you go, Doro. You look the same as in the 80s. You look like the same person. Like if you went into a refrigerator for 40 years and you came out, you look the same. What's the secret there? What are you doing? Any special creams, or what's the secret here to life?
Actually, I tell you, it's because I love music and I love the fans, and I'm so happy that I can do it. And every day, when I hop on stage, and I think, oh man, it's so great. I wanted to do it since I'm 3 years old, and I had my first band when I was 15, 16, and that I can still do it, it just really makes me happy. I guess if I would, have another job, man, I would probably not be as happy. I guarantee you. And yeah, I do a lot of sports. I'm a big martial arts fan. I love Thai boxing and eskrima and kung fu, and I'm a big boxing fan. And one time there was a lady, her name is Regina Heimisch, and I could write all the anthems for her to walk into the ring. That was so great. And she was 13 years undisputed world champion. And she had to, because of the age, she's not doing it actively anymore. But that was great. So I'm always doing a lot of sports.
Okay.
And I became a vegan because of the animals. I love animals so much. So I went vegan. I think that's pretty good for the skin and for my body. And I gave up smoking. I loved smoking cigarettes, but I'm not doing it anymore. And I think, I think I'm much more healthy than I was in the 80s when I started. And so,
very cool. Wow, you take care of yourself. Cool.
Yeah, I had to. And actually, I think it's when you want to do it for a long time, that's good, to not do too much bad stuff and stuff. But I never had any interest in doing drugs or alcohol. My drug is the music, the fans. So that's
good. Wow,
that gives me the ultimate high. Yes,
awesome.
Yeah.
Before we let you go, what's next for yourself, Doro? What's on your schedule, your agenda? What's next?
Yeah, actually, we are playing one festival in Germany. It's called Keep It True, and or actually Keep It True Rising, and they have only the really, really old school metal bands there, and we are playing a total old school metal set. And my guitar player from the Triumph and Agony, he's coming over, Tommy Bolin, and yeah, we will play that beginning of October, and then we're getting ready to prepare for this big show on the 28th of October in Düsseldorf, Germany. And yeah, and then I'm going back to the States, doing more promotion for the album, and yeah, and now the next couple of days in and out doing promo and doing some TV stuff, and and having a good time with the fans, because we want to do a little listening session for the diehard fans that's coming up next week. And yeah, and I'm, just hoping that the fans will love the album, and
they will.
Whatever
it
takes.
It's awesome. I got to listen to it, and it's just fans are gonna just love it. So good job there. Congrats to the guys and yourself for such great music. Would you like to send a message to your fans listening to the podcast?
Yes. Hello, my dear fans and friends. I love you with all my heart. You know that I always have. I always will. So keep on rocking, stay metal, and I hope I will see you on all these great festivals in the States. I can't wait. And I'm really excited about this new album, Conqueress, Forever Strong and Proud. I'm sure you will love it. So all the best. Love you. Lots of big hugs and metal kisses. And this was Doro, and I see you very soon.
Thank you, Doro. Thank you for your time, and we'll see you in Texas in 2024. Awesome. Keep rocking.
Yes, check it out. Maybe I can let the record company know the exact date that and stuff. It's definitely in White Oaks and in March. So I think it's maybe 21st of March. Yeah.
Awesome.
So
I'll try to contact you. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a big festival. Yeah, cool. Yes, do it. Please do it. It was very nice talking to you, and all the best to you. And hopefully I see you maybe at this festival or somewhere around on this planet.
For sure, Doro.
Clubs or festivals, wherever. Cool.
Awesome. Thank you, Doro. Keep rocking. And
thank you.
Okay, take it easy.
You too.
Bye-bye.
You too. Thank you. Ciao. Bye-bye.
So don't forget to support Doro Pesch, DORO, if you're not familiar with her after 40 years. I'm not sure where you've been, if you've been living under a rock or what, or another planet, or you just don't listen to rock metal. That means this is time to discover Doro and her older albums in the 80s, Warlock. So check that out too. Support Doro at her concerts, at her festivals, and this and that. Approach her merch booth, purchase some stuff, support the band. And a big shout out to the band, of course. We spoke to Bill Hudson a couple weeks ago, and last year I did speak to Johnny D, which is Doro's drummer, former Britney Fox. Anyways, thank you, Doro, for making time. Such a nice person, and very cool chat, and an easy person to get along with, and metal all the way, of course. So thank you, Doro, and thank you to Nuclear Blast Records for the great kill and the great music. So don't forget to pick up Conqueress, Forever Strong and Proud, October 27th. And if you are listening to this after that date, you have access to the album. Check it out, purchase it, order the vinyls, and so on and so forth. So anyway, as far as us on this podcast, That Metal Interview, that THAT, it's not the That's Metal Interview podcast. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for following us on social media, whether it be Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and so on and so forth. That's a Metal Interview podcast. Thank you on behalf of your friend James, all the way from the state of Texas in the US of A. And don't forget to keep it metal.
That Metal Interview.